Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today I'm going to give my Premier League fixture predictions for week 7, man. And what a weekend of football we just had for week 6 Premier League fixtures. We saw Arsenal literally obliterate Spurs in the North London derby. We saw Man United lose ground yet again in the Premier League, losing to Aston Villa at home. Who would have thought that? And we saw Man City display their dominance at Stamford Bridge, showing Chelsea why they are the Premier League champions and showing the whole Premier League why they should be taken serious as reigning defending Premier League champions who can go back to back this season. But let's just hope for more shocking, great thrills, great results this Premier League in terms of the fixtures on week 7, because we have great teams playing each other. We got Man City playing Liverpool, the two teams which have been sharing the Premier League trophy for the last 3 or 4 years or so. We got Man United who have to redeem themselves against Everton at home. We even got Spurs who have to redeem themselves as well against Aston Villa, who they have lost 3-0 3 times in a row this season. But before going to this video and giving predictions, make sure you guys like, comment and hit that big subscribe button right there. Make sure you guys in the comment section let me know in the predictions who's going to win this weekend in terms of the Premier League. So the first game I'm going to be predicting is Liverpool versus Man City. And what great two teams we have displayed this weekend, man. We've got two of the best managers in the world versing each other who have given us epic clashes in the past in terms of the Premier League and the Champions League, if you want to include that. But in terms of these two tactical geniuses, let us be aware that they're going to obviously have something up their sleeve to try win this game and make the league know that they are title favourites in terms of the Premier League this season. But let me just start off with Man City. What a great result they literally just had against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. When you had people dismissing them, potentially writing them off in terms of Premier League title favourites because they don't have a striker, because they don't have a number 9, because they haven't been playing so well this season. They put the whole league on display, showing them that they should be taken serious as the title favourites in terms of winning the Premier League this season. So many great performances. You had Jack Grealish and Cancelo literally dominating the left-hand flank, where Azpilicueta got absolutely decimated in the second half. You had other great performances. You had Bernardo Silva literally playing like N'Golo Kante, playing literally everywhere, covering every blade of grass, even playing with his great creativity as well. You had other outstanding performances like Diaz. His leadership at the centre-back position helped Man City keep a clean sheet. So expect these guys to perform well against Liverpool at Anfield this weekend, and they're going to have to perform because we all know Liverpool are going to be up for it, especially since it's at Anfield this season. And we know last time when we played at Anfield last season, we were absolutely obliterated at home 4-1. Who would have thought Liverpool would be destroyed at Anfield like that? So Liverpool are going to be seeking revenge against Man City. So Man City are going to have this work ethic. They can't be sleeping, they can't be dozing throughout the game, especially in the first 20-25 minutes or so, because we know this is Liverpool's best period throughout the game, like we saw against AC Milan in the first half, where we literally had relentless attack after relentless attack, having the crowd literally backing us throughout the whole 35-40 minutes in the first half. But in terms of this game, I think this is going to be the best game of football we're going to see all weekend and probably all season. Both teams like playing on the front foot. Both teams like literally dominating the other team. Obviously, Man City doing a different way with their possession, and Liverpool a little bit more direct and a little bit more fast with it, literally getting the ball into the front man a lot quicker. But literally, we've seen great encounters in the past. 4-1s like last season at Anfield. Even that 1-1 draw at Etihad, we had great performances from both sides. So expect this to continue. I think because both teams like playing high lines, they like to dominate the game. There's going to be a lot of space in behind for a lot of players. So on the day of the game, I just think it's going to come down to which team takes their chances. Are Sadio Mane and Mohamed Salah going to be able to finish their chances? Or is Man City going to take their chances against Liverpool? Because although they had such great joy against Chelsea, they weren't clinical in the final third to put the game through. But luckily, they had a great defence. But in terms of this game, I think it's going to be great. But I think it might just end as a draw, man. As long, I know Liverpool are home and that gives us an advantage and all that type of stuff. But we've seen both managers in the past be cautious in this game, especially in the last 30-40 minutes or so, if it's a draw. Because they know how damaging a defeat would be in the dying embers of a game and how much confidence it would give the other team. We saw this at the Etihad, where we saw the game fizzle out in the last 30-40 minutes or so. So I expect this might happen. So in terms of this game, I'm going to go for a thrilling game. I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw with Liverpool and Man City at Anfield. So the next game I'm going to be predicting is Manchester United versus Everton. And I feel like a broken record talking about Manchester United, man. Every single week I come and say the same thing because Ole and Manchester United keeps on making the same exact mistakes. What on earth is he doing? Playing McFred again? No creativity, always losing the ball like we saw against Aston Villa, which gave Aston Villa a lot of opportunities to score the goals. Like, I don't know what Ole and Manchester is thinking. Like, come on. Like, how hard is it, man? Use your brain. You got all these excellent attacking players, but you still want to play cautious football at home, which you did last season, which led you not getting that many results at home last season because that was your weak point, playing at Old Trafford. Away from home, you can do whatever you want because you're having great success in it, but obviously at home, you have to change it up to get results. But yeah, same old United, same old story. So many great players, Ronaldo, Bruno Fernandes, Pogba, but nothing cohesive, nothing team-oriented, playing great football together as a unit. Unlike Liverpool, Man City and Chelsea, it just looks like they rely on individual moments, individual brilliance from world-class players to save Ole Gunnar Solskjaer his job. You can't keep relying on these individual moments, especially against a Rafa Benitiz side who we know is going to sit back and is going to make it hard for Man United to create these opportunities to score goals, especially at Old Trafford where Man United lack the intelligence to create many opportunities at their own stadium. And the confidence is low at the club. You have Greenwood being greedy and selfish throughout the game. You had Bruno Fernandes and Ronaldo literally arguing over the penalty and Bruno Fernandes missing. The morale's just not good, and I just don't see them winning against Everton, honestly, man. Everton been in fine form despite the 3-0 loss, obviously against Aston Villa. Apart from that, they've been playing well this season, going back to basics, playing counter-attacking football, and that's the best chance teams have to beat Man United at Old Trafford, playing counter-attacking football. It looks like Man United are not going to have their great left-back Luke Shaw, who's going to be injured for a few weeks or so, which he got against Aston Villa. So I expect Andrew Townsend, who just came off a good game against Norwich, scoring a goal, to have his confidence up. You have Demarai Gray, who's been one of the quiet signings of the season already. Expect him to have a great performance. So in terms of this game at Old Trafford, it may be a surprise result, but I honestly think Everton will win this, especially since Man United will not have their captain as well, Harry Maguire. So I'm going to go for a 2-1 victory for Everton at Old Trafford. So the next game I'm going to be predicting is Brighton versus Arsenal. And let me just start with Arsenal. What a performance. What an amazing result. What an amazing display against Tottenham in a North London derby. Probably Arteta's finest coaching decisions, finest coaching performance throughout his whole tenure as Arsenal manager. I can't even think of a better performance he's had. Maybe Arsenal's best performance throughout the last 5 or 6 years or so against Tottenham, man. They absolutely obliterated them in the first half, scoring 3 goals. So much to like about the performance. You had Odegaard, Aubameyang playing as workhorseman-like, man, pressurising the Tottenham defenders, trying to intercept and get the ball in good areas. You had Xhaka and Partey dominating the midfield. You had Tomiyasu and Tierney playing well as the fullbacks. You had Smith Rowe and Saka sharing a goal and an assist each, both of them having that. What an amazing display. And only if Arsenal can keep up this momentum, because we know if Arsenal, they will beat Tottenham like they usually do at Emirates, because they haven't lost there once in the last 13 years. But in the next game, they're just not up for it. They won't have the same intensity, they won't have the same desire or passion to literally fight for each other and try and dominate the opposition. Sometimes they lollygag on the ball and they lose focus throughout the game. So let's hope that for Arsenal fans' sakes, that they can literally keep up this momentum against Brighton to get a victory against them, because Brighton is not going to be an easy place to go like we've seen in the past when Mapai has put them away on an occasion. But yeah, what I also like about Arsenal in terms of going into this game against Brighton, I think they finally found their starting 11, their concrete, solid starting 11, where it just picks itself. Because we've seen in the past where Arteta is always changing the starting 11, not really having belief in players like Martinelli and etc., not knowing what to do. But that performance, man, you just have to start the same team again if they're all fit. Because I know Xhaka went off hobbling against Tottenham, so let's hope he's well. But Arsenal fans shouldn't get arrogant, shouldn't get carried away, because Brighton aren't going to be an easy test. If they beat Crystal Palace, they're going to be top of the Premier League. Potter football in full effect. So don't take them as slouches. Don't pass the ball sideways and thinking we're going to obviously beat them. Because obviously Brighton have beaten you in the past before, being worse off. So imagine them having the confidence going into this game, top of the league, playing you. So I think Brighton will be a good test for Arsenal to see where they are in terms of the Premier League this season. Let's see if Arsenal can actually battle with a good team so far. But I don't know in terms of the result. Playing out from the back is going to be tested this game, because we know Brighton like to high press with Potter football in full effect, literally pressurising the Arsenal defence. We've seen on occasions them being shaky at the back, but Ramsdale looks like he knows what he's doing, passing out from the back now, looks much more comfortable and solid compared to someone like Leno. So let's see what happens in this game. In terms of this game, I think Arsenal will win, so I'm going to go for a 2-1 win for Arsenal against Brighton FC. So the next game I'm going to be predicting is Chelsea versus Southampton. And let's be honest, I think most of us were getting a little bit carried away with Chelsea of how well they're doing. Obviously, European champions, started this season very well, beating, was it, 2 of the top 6 sides and getting a draw at Anfield. Like, obviously, they've been having such a great start to the season and they have deserved all the credit like all these fans and pundits have been giving them. But at the end of the day, this defeat against Man City is a welcome shock. It's a shock to the immune system. Obviously, you don't want to lose, but you don't want to get carried away in the sense thinking we're going to walk this league, because there's obviously other great teams within this league. So let's see if Chelsea can bounce back. But in terms of this game against Man City, I feel like Tuchel did get it wrong partially because he tried to tinker with the formation. And don't get me wrong, he's tinkered with it well in the past, like last week against Tottenham, and got a great result. But sometimes some things are best left untouched. And he shouldn't have changed from a 3-4-3 to a 3-5-2 and got ultra defense against Man City because he just played it into Man City's hands last week. But I think Tuchel's going to learn this lesson because Southampton, in some ways, not similar in terms of the way they play with Man City, but they do like to pressurise the ball like we saw against Man United this season where they drew 1-1. So Chelsea are going to have to be able to play out from the back like they did poorly against Man City because Man City were able to win the ball in good areas. But obviously, Southampton aren't as good as Man City pressurising the ball. So let's see if Tuchel will be able to change it back to a 3-4-3, more fundamental. Let's see if he can include more of an attacking player. If Mount is still injured, obviously play someone like Ziyech. But I think Chelsea will be able to win this game against Southampton. We know Lukaku is a small team bully. He'll bully the small teams, but when it comes against the big teams, he won't be there like we saw against Liverpool, like we saw against Man City, like we even saw against Tottenham if he's scoring a goal. So he'll be able to display his dominance against a small team and probably get 2 goals. But in terms of this game, I think they'll be able to bounce back against Southampton, who just lost to Wolves at home. They're not in great spirits going into this game against Chelsea. So in terms of this game, I'm going to go for a 2-0 victory for Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. So the last game I'm going to be predicting is Spurs versus Aston Villa. And this is why I love the sport of football, man. 1 week, 1 month, you're literally saying maybe Spurs can finish in the top 4. Next minute, you're thinking, where our Spurs are even going to finish. Imagine, Nuno Santos made their back 2 of Sanchez and Dyer look like prime Puyol and Piqué in the first 3 games, literally having 3 clean sheets out of 3. But now they've conceded 3 goals in their last 3 games consecutively. Like, imagine, like, who would have thought, like, Spurs would have dropped off this quickly? Like, the flaws, the tacticians are starting to creep in for the new manager, Nuno Santos. I don't know what he was thinking playing against Arsenal with Ndombele and Dele Alli, who are known to be better on the ball rather than off it. So why are you playing counter-attacking football against Arsenal when you know these type of players are better on the ball than off it? We saw Oliver Skip in the second half have a decent game. Obviously 3-0 down, like you can do whatever you want now, and it's much easier to perform when you're 3-0 down and you don't have that much expectations. But Oliver Skip did decent, had tackles in, was flying into challenges, and was actually doing okay. So if you want to play your defensive style of football, why didn't you bring the personnel to play this defensive style of football? You set yourself up for failure and you got no one else to blame but yourself, Nuno Santos. So let's see if you're able to bounce your way back against an Aston Villa side who are actually in fine form. This team has been playing well all season. Despite not having the results against Chelsea, they're fresh off beating Man United at Old Trafford 1-0. They're fresh off beating Everton 3-0. Aston Villa are in hot form and you should not take them lightly. And I feel like this is a great opportunity for Aston Villa to win this game. I think they're going to possibly win this game and win this comfortably. Like, it just looks like the players for Tottenham aren't even playing for Nuno. If you looked at the stats, yeah, barely any chances created compared to the other 19 teams in the league. Barely any ground covered. They're 20th in running yards throughout the whole league this season compared to all the other teams. And that's teams like Burnley who just sit back and park the bus. So are the players even playing for Nuno? I don't even know. So why should I expect them to pick up results against a very, very good Aston Villa side who are starting to find their feet this season, beating one of the title contenders this season in Man United? So in terms of this game, I think it's going to be straightforward for Aston Villa away from home. Yes, away from home. I think they're going to win this game fairly comfortably. And I'm going to go for a 2-0 victory for Aston Villa at Tottenham Stadium.